Good morning or good afternoon. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's a cold, blustery day. It was supposed to snow. We've not gotten snow, but it's not very warm outside, so it's Christmas time, so I thought I'd work on my nails. They'll have to be done again before Christmas, but I thought we'd try something different. For today, I'm just cleaning up this nail. We're going to put I'm going to use one of my forms. And when you use forms, there are different types that you can get. Some have a really high arch, some not so much. As you can see, there's a difference in the almond shape. These here I don't use very often because it takes a lot of product to fill that gap, and it's hard to get it to dry once you get it that much product to dry. And the thing about gel nails is you want to always make sure that your product is dry clear through. So with that all being said, let me reiterate again. As you can see, this side I haven't washed. This side I did. So this side's been really scrubbed. They've both been washed, but this side hasn't been scrubbed under the nails, which I do one nail set at a time. I am not a professional. I am not licensed in nail art. I am self-taught. It's something that I knew I had to do if I wanted to have nails like I wanted to have. And so I was going to have to teach myself to do it. I've started out in acrylic, and when gel nails come out, I really love the gel nail. I love how it looks. I love the ease with which it's put on. I've done several different types of gel nails, and I have the poly gels, which this is really easy, especially for these deep forms, when you use the deep forms, because you can get this in there. But again, let me reiterate, make sure you spend plenty of time under your light to do this. And I would also get one of the little lights so that if you have to use one of these little clips and hold it down to get set first, you'll want a little individual light rather than the bigger light like I have here. And I do have one, but it's behind the thing. Oh, and just an FYI, when you're working with the little light, make sure your gel's not in front of it. I almost completely ruined my last thing of gel. So I'm set up here to get started, other than I haven't chose the nail form. I have my cotton pad and my lintless cotton pad to wipe and clean off my gel application brush. This is just alcohol. I use alcohol more than I use fingernail polish. I have damp pads to wipe off and clean. I have been working on getting the tritium out, and I've got some nail cuticle that is bothering me, but my stupid clippers, you'll want a good pair. You will want a really good pair of these and a sharp pair, because when you get things like this on your cuticle, where your cuticle comes apart, let me see if I can get this over here. I've got a little piece of cuticle that when I cleaned out, come out. There we go, we got it off. You'll want to be able to clean up your cuticle and make it nice and smooth so that your product doesn't grab onto it, and then you have to use your file to get it down. I do use both files. I showed you this the last time. Mine, I am not a representative of these companies. I don't have an affiliate with them, but this is what I got. I started out using a Dremel drill. But Dremels are too fast. You can't really control the speed. And this has a control on the top, a speed, and you can go backwards or forwards, whichever works. And then, of course, I have, I generally lie on 100 and 180 grit. The 100 is the labeled side, and the 100 is the non-labeled side, the 180 is the labeled side. So I do have that. So you're going to be with me while I try to find a form that I like. Because when I did my nails over the years, I've tried to get the pointed look. Well, I created this where my nail is, I don't know if you can see it, my nail is larger here than it is out here. And when this grows out, it creates a wedge. And I want to try, and I have been trying to get that done. And I may be stuck just using one of these big forms, and I really didn't want to, because it takes a lot of product in them. So when you pick your form, you want your form to go from sidewall to sidewall. Now this one is just a little too big, so I will take my drill and try to get it down just a little bit, because it's just too much for what I want to do. Let's see if that works. But you don't want it to touch your skin, but you do want it to be, and I need it to be snug, because you can just barely see where the nail is coming out to the side of the thing. So I'm not going to go all the way back under my nail, but I am going all the way back to the cuticle, but I am going to go quite a ways back, because it needs to come out. It's not that it's a bad thing. Nobody gets that close to my hands that they see, and if they are, they better be complimenting me, right? So I'm going to go back about that far, and maybe a little farther, but I've still got to get this off just a little bit. It's still not quite right. I don't want too much, because it'll ruin the nail and I'll have to start all over. And this is a very good reason for having one of these type of files, is because you can control the, there we go. Okay, now this is the problem with these here nails, and it makes it really difficult to do, but we will give it a shot here and see if I can get it done without ruining everything. Sometimes it would be nice to have a bigger desk, but a bigger desk would require me moving my stuff, and I don't want to move it. I like it right here in the corner of my bedroom. So, not going to get much in there just yet, but I want to, because I want to start at the back. I start at the back and pull forward, because I don't like it very thick at the back, because it creates such a ridge when your nail grows out. So I like to start at the back and kind of pull it forward, because that's just me. Now, I do my nails often enough, because I do my own, that it wouldn't be a big deal. But there are times when I get busy on the farm that I just don't have time to do my nails. So there's times it can be a good month before I get to them. I use my alcohol as my slip solution too. So the nail in the front will be bigger. Now the side that I'm going to build up is where it's going to have the most product because I want to build that nail out. So it'll be this side here, and I'll go down that side just to make sure that there's plenty of product along that edge. And then I'll just keep working it down because I got to fill that whole thing. And of course I'll be filing a lot of that off because it's way too high for me, but everybody's different. As you can see with my gel, that's what happened when I left my light on. Dumb thing to do. I don't know why I didn't see it or notice it, but I didn't. So I lost a whole thing of my gel. And I really like this Savalind gel. It is really easy to work with. The poly gels are fairly easy, but I really like this. It is just a way easier gel to manipulate around and put where you want it to get the look that you want. And as you go along, you'll discover what you like and what you don't like, and you will eventually just start doing it as you go along. And it does take a while. I've been doing it for 20 some odd years, and you would have thought that I would have gone and got a license, and I thought about it a couple of times, but I live so remotely to get clients, just it wouldn't pay for it. So I don't do anybody else but my own and family and a friend or every once in a while, but for the most part I don't do it. Now when you're working with big globs of gel, you're going to have bubbles, so you're going to have to work it and get those bubbles out of it, or you will have a bubble in your nail. If you're covering your nail up with nail polish and stuff, that probably would not be a big issue. But if you're not, then a great big old bubble like that one will definitely cause you some grief. And generally I have a needle here, but I don't, so I'm just going to take my dotting tool and dot it down in there and break those bubbles. Like I said, this takes a lot of gel product to fill that up so that your nail, these are really curved. You can see the curve on it, but it's the only one I really have that fits my big old nail. So we're going to give this one a shot and see where we're at, see if it'll go on and work here. Turn my little light on. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. Here's the color of my little light. So I've got another bubble. Darn it. It is just going to insist. So I've got my clip ready. We're going to take this and we're going to set it down on my nail. Aha, there we go. I didn't need to go that far out, but that's okay because I can drag that gel back, and there we go. We're filled up on the other side. I'm going to take my little clip and put it on to hold it. Make sure we got plenty of gel. Take this gel and manipulate it around here just a little bit, because I really want to build that out, and I'm going to have to squeeze my thumb down to get that gel in there. That's the important part, because I really and I'll make a mess, and you will too, but it's not a big deal. The world's not made of perfect things. So we've got it, I think. Got a little gel on my fingers, but that's okay. We'll get that off. I'm going to cure it for about 30 seconds under this little cure light. Looks like I got a bubble in there. Yep, I got a bubble in it, but that's okay. We'll get that one. This is all going to be covered up. You really want to make sure that you don't have any bubbles along the edge of your manicure, because if you do, then that will allow bad things to get in there. Towards the center, make sure they're not deep bubbles, and you should be okay. Like I said, most of these bubbles I'll be filing out because I don't like my nails that long. And then again, because it is so thick, I'm going to cure it for quite a while. I think we're going to do gnomes today. I got a gnome on my little finger. I broke it last night, so I worked on it last night. 60 seconds, so I'll probably have a good 90 seconds under the light. That might be excessive, but the only time I ever had an issue under my manicure where I've got the fungus, the green stuff, was I did not cure a nail sufficiently, and it was able to bleed out on the side and allow an invasion of bacteria under there. So that made it kind of a bad deal. Okay. And then you just work your form. Hopefully this all comes off like it's supposed to. Oh boy, isn't that a monster? But that'll all come off. I'll take that all off. And then I've got back here, I'm going to have to get my little file and file it off. I'll take my nail clippers and just clip most of this off rather than try to file off, because it's really thin out towards the end, so it'll be really easy to take off. I'm going to want to get this all the way back to where my nail is at, because I love long nails. I think they're beautiful, but they get in my way when I'm working, especially when I'm milking cows or breeding. They're just not conducive to that type of environment. So now that I've got the fine stuff off, and the one thing I forgot to do was to just wipe the residue off the nail. I always forget to do that. So I've got mine faced forward. I will take my fingernail from this way, so wrong way. Since I don't know my forwards from my backwards, huh? And then I'll just work this. This is a finer file. I have a rougher in the types of files I use. I showed you this the last time. I bought a little, it's a little rougher. It's got, the sandpaper is a little, the little files are a little stronger than just the regular nail kits have, because I don't have the time or the patience to sit and play with something for that long. You also want to remember, too much pressure will shut your file down. I wish I could tell you how to shape your nails, but I'm just not very good at it. My hands are just designed that there's one type of shape of nail that works, and that's the one that I stick with. Anything different than that shape, and I can't get it to look right. So. And remember, the faster you turn that file up, the faster it's going to go. So when you're filing across your nail bed, make sure you're very, very careful. You use light, even strokes. If you don't, you will damage your nail bed, and you don't want to do that. You want to be very, very, very careful when you're using files. Even a regular nail file can cause you some damage, so be very careful when you're filing your nail bed off. I had a professional tell me one time it's best to do 2 strokes on one side, 2 strokes across the top, and 2 strokes across the bottom. That's kind of the method that I use. I stick pretty close to that type of procedure because number one, it keeps you balanced. Oops. Keeps your nails balanced so you don't have a high ridge going from there. And when I'm removing product, I generally go the length of the nail, and then I come back and go back and forth across the nail. Yeah, you can see how thick that is. We won't do that. It's got to come down. So on this case, I'll be going back and forth across the tip of it because I want to keep this as balanced as I can. And I don't want to ruin that new that I just worked so hard to get built up. So we're going to be really careful on how we come down the side of this nail. So we're going to go back and forth across like this for quite a while. It's going to take a minute.